The first rule they gave us was, turn off your lights by sunset. That's when I knew things were about to get bad. No one explained the curfew, not at first. It came as a text from the city, same for everyone, like an Amber Alert, but colder. For your safety, turn off all lights and stay indoors after 8 p.m., military enforcement in effect. You could almost hear the warning vibrating through the walls. Most of us thought it was some electrical grid thing. I even joked with my neighbor, Mike. Guess they want us to save on the bill. But there was a heaviness behind it, the kind of tension you feel before a storm when the air tastes metallic. I live in a regular cul-de-sac, the kind with two-car garages, faded basketball hoops, and that one house that never mows the lawn. I'm a paramedic, or at least I was. 2 weeks earlier, life was night shifts, Netflix, ramen for dinner, and helping Mike fix his broken fence. Now all my windows were covered in old bed sheets, duct tape running low, and I hadn't seen my mom in 3 days. She was supposed to come over for dinner. She stopped texting the day the power trucks rolled through. When the army started blocking off exits, people panicked. Highway 29, the only way out of our suburb, filled up by noon. That first Monday, Humvees rolled past every other house, soldiers in gear, guns cradled against their chests. They told us it was just a temporary thing, routine measures for your safety. But safety doesn't look like men in riot helmets and dogs barking at shadows. Mike wanted answers. He's the kind of guy who calls City Hall when the trash pickup is late. I just wanted my family back. By Tuesday, the rumor was someone at the hospital brought back a weird flu from overseas. Others said it was terrorists. Old Man Carter down the street claimed the government was hiding something, that the water tasted off. By Wednesday, nobody was sure what to believe, only that leaving wasn't an option anymore. Phones started dying, not just running out of battery, going dead all at once. My iPhone was plugged in 76% when the signal dropped. I thought it was a bug, but then Mike's phone, Bree's phone, she's my roommate, a nurse, younger than me but tougher, even the old landline went dead. That's when people started vanishing. Not everyone, just enough to notice. First, it was single folks who kept to themselves, then the crazy cat lady 2 doors down. Their houses stayed dark, mail piling up. It was like someone was quietly erasing people from the map. Drones buzzed overhead every couple hours, small ones like the kind Amazon was testing. Some nights, you could see them scan backyards with red lights, searching for movement. We joked about Big Brother, but the laughter never made it past our lips. At the grocery store, what was left of it, neighbors whispered about containment zones. Some said if you didn't obey, you'd be taken. No one knew by who. Nobody ever saw the trucks come, but everyone noticed when a porch light stayed on and the family inside was gone by morning. Thursday night, I saw a man walking the street like nothing was wrong. Just strolled right down the middle, waving at the empty houses, calling out, "It's safe. Come outside. They're gone." He looked normal. Jeans, hoodie, flip-flops. Then he started screaming, tearing at his hair, collapsing onto the asphalt. That's when the Humvees came. 4 guys jumped out, dragged him into the back. He fought so hard he lost a shoe. It sat in the street for hours. Nobody touched it. That was the last time anyone in our neighborhood went out after dark. By Friday, our group stopped obeying. We didn't open the blinds. We started covering the windows with cardboard, stacking furniture against the doors. We destroyed the little security cameras they put on our street lamps, smashed them with a baseball bat and a shovel. Bree said, "If they're watching, we're not giving them a show." There was a lot of fear, but it didn't feel mindless. It felt angry. Mike's wife, Cheryl, who bakes for everyone at Christmas, handed out kitchen knives like party favors. She taught us how to make tripwires out of extension cords and bells. I found out I was better with a crowbar than a first aid kit. None of us slept much. We took shifts, listening for trucks, voices, anything. Sometimes someone would tap at the window at night. Once, I thought I saw my mom's silhouette, but I didn't open the door. I still hear her calling my name in my dreams. We didn't know what we were hiding from, but everyone agreed. After dark, keep your lights off, keep your mouth shut, and trust nobody you can't see in daylight. We kept telling ourselves we'd survive if we followed the rules, but the rules stopped making sense a long time ago. If you ask me what I was most afraid of back then, I'd say the things that made no noise. But that first midnight after we stopped obeying, fear came with the sound of glass cracking in the dark. We all heard it. It was the kitchen window in Mike and Cheryl's house. One sharp pop, like a knuckle. Then, silence. Cheryl was already standing at the door with her big mixing bowl and that bread knife, trembling. Mike whispered, "Stay back." I grabbed the crowbar and Bree's flashlight, thumbed it off before turning the corner, barely breathing. My heart was so loud I thought whatever was out there could hear it too. Outside there was nothing at first. No figures, no shuffling, just the cold hum of the night. But I saw it, a shadow, thin as fishing line, slip away under the fence and vanish into the dark. Bree said it was probably a stray dog, but she was lying. Everyone was lying now, to themselves, to each other. At exactly midnight, something changed. I don't know how to describe it except to say the air felt tighter, like someone had cinched a belt around the whole house. Somewhere across the cul-de-sac I heard a scream, high, sudden, then cut short, like someone had just dropped a phone into water. Cheryl whimpered, clamping her hands over her mouth. I told myself it was nothing, but you don't mistake that sound. We waited for the army to show up, for the Humvees and the spotlights and the dogs, but no one came. The next morning, the neighbors in the red brick house were gone. Their car was still in the driveway, but every curtain was pulled back. I could see a trail of muddy footprints on the front steps. I couldn't tell if they were going in or out. After that night, every window in every house stayed dark, but the sounds kept coming, always at midnight, always from different places. Sometimes it was a scream. Sometimes it was silence where a family should have been. Some people fought. Most just disappeared. We stopped counting how many. We stopped calling each other by our first names, started using nicknames. If something came, maybe it wouldn't know who we really were. It didn't matter if you obeyed the rules. Sometimes you'd wake up and your kitchen chair was on the porch, or your phone would flicker on with a text from someone you knew was already gone. Come outside, it's safe. You learned not to answer. You learned not to trust even the way your own house looked in the morning. Bree put tape over all the mirrors. She said she didn't want to see what was behind her anymore. We knew we had to get out. But there was nowhere to go. Soldiers had stopped patrolling, and the barricades had grown taller, with rusted wire and metal barrels and sandbags. The only way out was underground. I'd heard stories from kids who lived near the old train yard about tunnels that ran beneath the city, connected to the subway. It sounded insane, but staying was worse. Mike and I mapped a route. Cheryl packed up food and water in her old camping bag. Bree made weapons out of broken chair legs and hammers. When we left that night, it felt like a funeral. We carried everything we could. We crawled under the fence at the edge of the development, past where the drones circled. The manhole cover took both of us to lift. The tunnels were pitch black, cold and close. The only light came from Bree's phone, the battery draining fast. The walls were tagged with graffiti and peeling posters. The smell was rot and something chemical. Every step echoed for miles. I heard something running ahead of us, bare feet, frantic. We all froze. Mike whispered, "Keep moving." Deep in the dark, we found others. Some were families. Some were groups of kids with bats and backpacks. Not everyone made sense. There was a man in a business suit, covered in dirt, who kept muttering the same thing. "You can't hide from them. You can't hide." A woman with a wedding ring but no shoes asked me if I'd seen her son. I hadn't. I didn't tell her she probably never would. Down there, time stopped working right. It was always night. The only way you knew you were still yourself was if your friends kept looking at you with fear instead of a smile. That's when the weirdest thing happened. I found my sister in the tunnels. Jamie. She died last year. Overdose. We'd buried her ourselves. But there she was, sitting on a pile of newspapers, legs swinging like she was waiting for a school bus. She looked right at me and said, "Hey, why are you here?" I tried to hug her, but she pulled away, her eyes suddenly glassy, distant. "Don't touch me. It's not safe down here." I know, I froze. Mike and Bree stared at me and I realized they didn't see her. When I turned back, Jamie was gone. I started crying, really crying for the first time since this started. I was losing my mind or something worse was happening to all of us. The others in our group changed too. Bree started calling me by a different name, Danny instead of Chris. Mike kept talking to someone who wasn't there. Cheryl's hands shook so bad she couldn't open a bottle of water. People whispered that the things in the dark didn't bite, they talked. They'd sit with you in the shadows and ask questions, and afterward, nothing felt real. Memories slid around, names faded, whole chunks of your life just gone. But you'd still smile, like everything was fine. You couldn't remember what you were so scared of. I think that's the real infection. Not blood, not bites. Thought. They'd crawl into your mind, rewrite it, smooth it over like erasing a chalkboard. We'd catch each other grinning at nothing, blank-eyed. Sometimes Bree would repeat a story about her childhood I'd never heard before, then deny she said anything. One day, Mike looked at me and said, "You're not Chris, right? You're Danny." And I just nodded, because I wasn't sure anymore. The only thing I remembered for sure was this: you have to keep moving. Don't answer if someone calls you from the dark. Don't turn on the lights. Don't trust your own memories. Down here, all the rules are different, and the monsters don't have claws. They have your face. If I'm being honest, I don't even remember what day it was when we started to fight back. Nobody counted time anymore, not underground. Maybe the sun rose and set above the city, but down here it was always black and always hungry. For a while, it felt like we'd never get out, like all the tunnels led in circles or dumped us in the wrong decade. The only thing that kept us going was each other, or at least the parts of each other we could still trust. The change started with a whisper. A group of teenagers, faces streaked with grime, passed word from tunnel to tunnel. Some folks had found a way to burn out the eyes of the drones with homemade firebombs. Bree wanted to know if it was real. I just wanted something to hope for. Soon, more people joined us in the dark. Some carrying old radios, some dragging makeshift stretchers. We heard about a group barricading a community center, broadcasting static on every channel they could find. They'd even snatched 2 soldiers out of a patrol and tied them up, demanding answers. No one trusted the army anymore, not even the kids who used to play soldier with water guns in the street. Mike was the first in our group to volunteer. "If we sit here, we rot," he said. Cheryl handed him a Molotov cocktail made from a whiskey bottle and a rag. I was terrified, but terror felt better than sitting still. The first checkpoint went up in flames after midnight, fire licking the sky and turning the faces of the soldiers into shadows. For a second, I felt like maybe we were the monsters. But then the screaming started from inside the checkpoint. I realized it was people, civilians, neighbors, folks who'd disappeared from the surface, locked in cages behind the barbed wire. We broke them out, smashing padlocks, dragging the weak and the broken into the tunnels. I recognized the old cat lady, dazed but alive. She didn't remember her name. She smiled too much. The resistance was messy, desperate. We didn't have weapons, not real ones. We had fire, sticks, hammers, rocks. We lost people, good people. There was a little girl with purple hair who knew every tunnel by heart. She vanished during a raid and never came back. One of the boys who helped us steal supplies from an army truck got caught. His screams haunted me for days. Bree took a bullet in the shoulder and kept moving, biting her lip until blood ran down her chin. It wasn't just about fighting the soldiers anymore. We were fighting the thing inside ourselves, the urge to forget, the pressure to give in and smile and let the rules erase everything that mattered. Sometimes a person in our group would wake up different, smiling, glassy-eyed, repeating the same sentence over and over. "It's safe now. Come outside." We had to tie them up, keep them from wandering into the dark. It felt cruel, but I was more scared of what would happen if we didn't. Then came the night we decided to go public. There was a ham radio in the barricaded community center, the kind old folks used to talk to truckers. We hijacked the frequency and started shouting the truth to anyone who could hear. "If you're out there, don't trust the curfew, don't turn on your lights, don't believe anyone who smiles too much." It was chaos. Soldiers yelling, radios crackling, fire spreading. I heard gunshots, then screaming, then silence. That was the night we lost Cheryl. She'd gone back for one of the kids who'd gotten stuck behind a burning barricade. The last thing I saw was her silhouette against the fire, pushing the kid through a window, turning back to fight off a soldier. I waited for her all night, but she never came out. After that, everything moved fast. The city above started burning, whole blocks lighting up, smoke rising to hide the stars. Some of the signals we sent out made it through. People called in from the next town over, from miles down the highway. Some were crying, some shouting, some just listening. I don't know what the world heard, not all of it. Some of our broadcasts were drowned out by gunfire, by static, by people yelling for help. By dawn, we'd made it to the rooftops. The tunnels emptied out into the shell of an old apartment building, the kind with peeling paint and broken balconies. From up there, you could see the city burning, orange and red, ash falling like confetti. The people who survived weren't the same. Not really. Some had lost their memories, their names, their families. Some had gone quiet. Others looked at me like I was supposed to tell them what to do next. I still don't know why the lights were so dangerous. I only know what the darkness kept away. We lost so much, but we held on to one thing: each other. If you're hearing this, if you survived, don't let the rules turn you into someone else. Keep moving. Don't trust the things that smile. Don't turn on your lights, not until you know it's safe. And if you made it through, you're not alone. The city will never be the same. But maybe that's the point. The old world is gone. The new one is ours to make. You've been listening to Dark Whispers. If this story sent a chill down your spine, hit subscribe and join us for more real horror every week. Stay safe. Stay in the dark.